Hi, I'm Julie Grace Brucky. I did my story on how the sequester is affecting Indian Health Services. I had a great experience on the Saxa Trail. I think it was great for me to get outside the Beltway, my comfort zone. I'm used to covering things like policy and doing different types of data reporting, and I think it was great for me to see the effects of the sequester firsthand and talk to people that are actually dealing with it versus Washington insiders who have all the information but aren't as close to the issue. One of the other things I really enjoyed about the trip was getting to know my fellow reporters. I think there was a great sense of camaraderie and we really helped each other out a lot. So overall, I had a great time.
Hi, my name is Capricia Alston, and I did my story on the No to Begay Foundation, which is a foundation that helps fight cancer and obesity in younger children in the Native American Indian community. And they do this by putting in or installing sports in their curriculum. And since we went over the summer, it was a perfect time to go because they built a soccer field there about 2 years ago. And with that field, they also taught nutrition, so they brought the kids out and just had them run around. And what I learned the most from this trip is that sports really does bring people together, and no matter what the conditions or the lifestyle that somebody lives, for me, going out there and seeing all those children, it brought me back to the days when I played as a kid. And it's just, you forget about everything else in the world and kind of just play your sport. And it definitely validated for me why I want to be a sports reporter. And besides that, I just had a great time learning about my classmates and dealing with different personalities. And I think that just overall, it was great people. We got a lot of help. And they were just great people in New Mexico, and that's what I learned.
Hi, my name is Ann Snyder, and this is at the tail end of my time at the program at Georgetown, and I was part of this field reporting class where we call ourselves Saxa Trail and spent about 5 days in Albuquerque. So I was at the class for that part and then trailed off literally on my own to far northwest New Mexico, Farmington. And I think that one of the main things I've learned is just to trust yourself and follow your nose when you're on the ground. I tend to think probably overly conceptually, and so had done all this research specifically around traditional healing in the Native American community across various tribes specific to New Mexico, and had like a paradigm in my head and went there and was supposed to profile a traditional healer working in a modern hospital, and the last minute it didn't work out, and so found myself in a setting at the University of New Mexico where there was a conference of indigenous healers from all around the world gathering to trade secrets and talk shop, and found it helpful and was highly encouraged to write a story on it, which I seriously considered, but then kind of had to fall back on prior instincts and prior research to realize that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but it provided helpful context. So anyways, it just wound up, the whole trip was one of like meeting, sort of following a nose and trying to be creative about meeting the right person that would form that story that would present enough tension, as well as just an interesting character, and realizing that you're there for a limited amount of time, and so everything kind of becomes useful. You have to look at everything almost as either providentially driven, fate driven. So every dinner, every detail along the side of the road, in my case heading up to far rural, the mountainous region, getting caught in a storm, and like every step along the way writing down observations.
So my name is Robert Snyder. I am a Georgetown journalism student who is in the field reporting class, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience in the field reporting class. So I'm not a journalist by trade. I've never been a journalist. I came in with kind of an open mind, not really knowing what to expect. I think that this class worked really well to kind of teach me the fundamentals of working in a small team, yet remaining independent and having to focus on a topic, pursue that subject or that personality that you're going to interview, but still have other journalists that you could bounce off of, that you could get help from. And I'm not only talking about the ones in the class, I'm also talking about the journalists that we ran into in New Mexico where we went this year. The the experience was a lot about teamwork for me. Independent of that, I think as a student coming into this program, you can look forward to learning how to take all the core competencies that you've gathered so far and merge them, or kind of like melt them together into one product with the blog, the tweeting, the Storify, which I just learned myself. These things kind of all coalesce at the end of the semester. It's really worth it. So good luck.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Rush Hall. I had a unique experience in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I found a program called Art Therapy, designed for homeless men, women, and children. It has a huge success rate. They take people who've been out on the streets, get them to produce pieces of work like this, which they end up selling, and in a very short amount of time, these people are back living in a home and living a healthy, happy, normal life. Most of the men and women I talked to were grateful for the experience that they had had in being homeless. They're happy having fewer possessions and a simpler life. This experience affected me very deeply. I've wanted to go beyond the minute 30 news package in the newsroom and to do documentaries, to chronicle the changes that are taking place in our country and the things that still need to be changed. I'm excited about doing this story. I'm excited about my commitment to doing more social reform pieces and to getting people involved to change the fabric of this nation. I hope you'll join me on the Saxa Trail and find out more about art therapy in Albuquerque, New Mexico.